Alright, we're live after a long night. Ugh. Not a very good night for Republicans anywhere. I have semi-understanding what Dems should be, or Republicans should be doing, and haven't been doing, that the Dems have been doing in mass. So we'll get into that in a little bit. We're going to check a couple YouTube videos, see if there's anything interesting, any remarks on these crazy losses in New York, which, I mean, it was expected, but it's still very stupid that they even elected this socialist dude on on promises that he actually can't keep. And these people did no research of their own to see if he could do any of these things that he's promised, which he can't. And and then this.
It has been announced that Jay Jones has won in Virginia. And this is a man who texted he wanted the children of his rivals to be murdered to affect their views on policy, and that if given the option, he would put 2 bullets in the head of a Republican. Here's a tweet from Andy No. A Trump supporter was shot dead on the streets of Portland, Oregon on October 27th around 5:36 p.m. Derek M. Rice, 39 of Portland, was killed on Northeast 125th Place. Police have released no information about the suspect or suspects who got away. If anyone has information about the case, the PPB is asking that you contact homicide tips at police.portlandoregon.gov. Yep. We don't know why this man was killed.
Going to start.
But considering what's been going on in Portland, and considering that's not the first time a Trump supporter has been killed in Portland, and that major story we did see was Aaron Danielson, who was shot twice in the chest. A man named Michael Reinl is seen on video walking down the street when you hear someone yell, "We got one right here," or something to that effect, and then puts 2 bullets in the chest of a Trump supporter who was walking down the street. We now have another story of a Trump supporter identified as Derek M. Rice wearing his Trump shirt.
Great shirt,
being shot and killed. We don't know why he was shot and killed. It may actually be nothing. Who knows? Maybe it was a drug deal gone wrong. I don't know. I don't want to impugn the honor of this man. We don't know for sure. Just that they found him shot
drug deals don't
and
go
dying,
wrong in Oregon.
transported
They don't
him
have
to
any
a hospital
crime.
where he succumbed to his injuries. And, of course, reporting saying we're trying to figure out what's going on. Now, what I will say is this. It is extremely important to clarify we don't know if this was a politically motivated killing or not. What I will say is,
lead to it, though.
Exactly as I've predicted some time ago, it starts to sound more and more chaotic. When conflict arises, you will wake up to these stories, and we don't know exactly what they're about because it's fog of war. Could this be a politically motivated killing? Possibly.
Yeah,
I would argue that there's a million and one potentialities where it was not politically motivated. For all we know, he owed some guy money or some guy owed him money and he was asking for it. Who knows? What is going to happen is there's a reason why, I'll put it this way, Andy No is sharing this tweet because we want to know whether or not this was a politically motivated murder. Andy No, in any other circumstance, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, likely would not have tweeted about a shooting with no information. As the conflict escalates and people like Jay Jones win their elections, even though we know he wants to murder conservatives, the assumption begins to emerge that when someone with an overt political leaning is killed, it was for political reasons. And with the escalation of terror attacks on ICE officials, the attacks on ICE officials in general, as well as the attacks on conservatives, people are going to start assuming if you don't have information on why a Trump supporter was killed, then we're going to lean towards it was a politically motivated murder. Now, again, I don't know for sure, but I think that it has become front of mind, top of mind for everybody that you could potentially be killed simply for who you want to vote for. As we already see now, it looks like the AG in Virginia is a man who wants to kill you. He wants to kill conservatives. And that's not an exaggeration. He said if he was in a room, he'd put 2 bullets in the head of a GOP representative. And he hopes that Jennifer Gilbert's children would die so that they would change their view on policy to agree with him. So what I will say is I had a conversation over security today, and it's escalating again. Yeah, I probably have 1,000,001 people saying, Tim, you shouldn't talk about this, but I've already said I'm done playing this game because I think you are all aware of what is currently going on. But again, I had a conversation with security, and the response was, we need to increase your security detail because of what we are seeing, especially now with Jay Jones. The problem is the threat against my life, as well as the threat against many other prominent conservatives' lives, is now coming directly from government. I live a couple minutes away from Virginia. I have always talked about how we're very close to Loudoun County. What am I supposed to do now, knowing that the head of law enforcement in Virginia wants to kill conservatives, and I have a particularly prominent show that opposes people like him? I've told you guys this already. I won't be returning to Chicago for the holidays anymore because about 12 years ago, I'm sorry, this is 13 years ago, I and my friends were pulled over by Chicago police, and they tried planting drugs in our car to frame us. And it sounds pretty crazy, but NBC covered the story. Surrounded by multiple vehicles at gunpoint, ultimately they tried planting heroin in our vehicle. Now I have to deal with the AG of Virginia wanting to murder people like me. Charlie Kirk is dead. The alleged assassin and the people surrounding the assassin appear to be motivated by mainstream Democrat ideology. This isn't just my opinion. It's what you are going to hear on mainstream news reports. It's what you are going to hear from your average mainstream pundit on the right. We know for a fact this guy believes this, and they voted for him anyway.
Play right in the middle.
So what happens if I drive through Virginia and get pulled over by some leftist commie cop, and look what I found, some drugs.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? I do not trust that people like Jay Jones will actually do their job. I believe this guy is a communist revolutionary who will kill if he has to.
You're a happy girl.
For the life of me,
You're a happy girl.
Could never text a person, I want someone's children murdered. I could never do it.
Yeah,
I could never say that. I could never wish for someone's kids to be killed like that. It takes a special kind of evil and depravity. So now we're looking at a story of a Trump supporter killed. And as I often say, truth won't matter to partisans. The assumption is going to be, once again, that far leftists killed a conservative, killed a Trump supporter, and this is where the state of the country is going.
I mean, there's no debating it anymore. I mean, there was a minute where we thought after Charlie Kirk was murdered, where it was like, okay, there's no way Jay Jones is going to win with these texts coming out. There's no way. You know, people are going to look at this guy and they're going to say, this is beyond the pale. We can't have politicians talking like this. We can't have someone be the highest prosecutor in the land. Now
wait, you go back to you.
Logan, I do think you were very spot on with the higher up of the ticket not being too strong. Winsome Sears, she's no Glenn Youngkin, a nice woman, but I don't know, a black woman, and you know there is some identitarianism in the Republican Party, especially in Virginia. And then the Lieutenant Governor John Reed, I believe it was. Yeah. He's a nice man, but a gay man, and you know, Mary was on the show with us when he was on, and she said she wouldn't vote for him because he was gay. So I don't know if I'm reading too much into these identity things, but you know. Abigail Spanberger, very well liked. There are a lot of federal employees in Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C., and she was a former CIA agent, so she had the backing of a lot of people well, I think in that camp. And I don't know. I mean, it really struck me when Mary said, when I asked Mary if she would vote for Reed, and she said no, because he's gay, and I couldn't support a gay candidate who goes against my values like that. Democrats seem more willing to compromise on parts of their value for their perceived greater good. Am I misreading this?
Well, I think it's the other way around. I think the Republican Party still has this like terrible idea where they're like, if we just throw up a minority or throw up a woman, or in this case both, somehow black voters will just somehow black voters will just vote for him because they're black. It's like this poisonous idea that Trump has completely blown up because he outperformed any Republican candidate ever with black voters, and he didn't really like appeal to them at all as far as a direct appeal. He was just himself. He just had good policy. He resonated to whatever they, you know, whatever policy they would advocate for. And the Republican Party still has this, like, it's almost like DEI where they're like, oh, well, maybe if we nominate like a black woman, then maybe black voters will like us. Maybe women will like us. And it's like,
It's called
So ridiculous.
it's called DEI conservatism, and they very much believe in
We
this.
love doing that. We love taking like a black woman, throwing it in the Democrats' face, be like, "Yeah, look, we support her. Go vote for her. Yeah,
And then
we have a gay man. Yeah,
and Democrats
vote for him."
being extremely racist just go like, well, we won't vote for black people then.
And all conservatives do are say like, actually, Democrats are the real racists. It's like I'm getting pretty sick of this. I think a lot of people are sick of this.
Yeah.
The other issue is too, there has been no real urgency for the Republican Party to be like, we have to win Virginia. This is an important must-win election. There was none of that. Okay, now. Some people have been trying to make a point that like, New Jersey is very critical. That would be huge to put that sort of a blue state.
Take that
but
spaceship
again,
from him, huh?
they're not saying like, oh, we need our voters here today now to do this. I don't think I don't even know. I can't name a policy of. It seems like again,
Winsome Sears.
Winsome Sears, yeah. It seems like
you know her policy of hold the gun in that picture.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
her policy.
It seems like she's necessarily all the stuff. You know, I'm an online person. I do digital stuff. So when I would see her stuff online, it seems like she's running against a Democrat to say like these J. Jones texts are terrible. Versus like, what are you actually? What are you for? You know, what are you? How are you going to improve Virginia? What are you running on? What is your policy vision? Do you have a vision for the future of the state? That's not to say Democrats really did a good job of that either.
No, but
they're going
you don't have to fight fire all the time.
And because of Trump. So
like it's not required all the time.
The conservatives do
They just
fetishize
follow
minorities, and I
in
feel like it goes
in
beyond
the
just these
footsteps of the
political races. I
Dems
feel like if there's
and copy what they're
if you're
doing.
a commentator and you're a black
sometimes it
commentator or
works
a
that
black
give
female,
policy.
black gay
Speak
female
honestly.
conservative online, Republicans will love you
Yeah.
just for that, just
Kinda
because
like
of your
that.
identity. No matter how dim you may be, you could be the dumbest person. It doesn't matter. We will still fetishize you only because the color of your skin. We do love this weird reverse racism, putting minorities on a pedestal. We love our what is it, Uncle Tom's? We love our Uncle Tom's.
I don't know about that.
We love our
I don't know
tokens.
about that, but we love the idea of getting a gotcha soundbite on a Democrat. And like we, for some reason, think like, oh, a Democrat's not voting for a black woman. What about DEI? What about all this equity? So we love that. But to Logan's point as well, is the Republican Party has just entrenched itself as the opposition party. So they always define themselves in what they're against, and they never define themselves in what they're for. And that's why, like Cernovich was talking about, when Trump's on the ballot, no one's really interested in what they're selling because it's just being like graceful losers. It's being the opposition party, where Trump is the only person in the GOP that is defining what America should be.
He has a vision.
He has a vision. And it's like the Democrats have a vision, as horrible and as dystopian as it is. They have a vision. All the Republicans can offer in a race like Virginia is like, hey, we'll slow them down.
I think
Trump needs to go Lincoln on Virginia.
Based.
Well,
Not the first time the president needs to put down a rebellion in Virginia, and I would be okay with Trump to do it again.
Yeah,
he didn't endorse in this race, I believe, not because he didn't think he could help, but just because he thought it was a lost cause, and he doesn't like having that blip on his record.
Yeah,
on his endorsement record.
Yeah, as you were saying, conservatives love this like weird they do this liberal thing where they love identity politics for everyone except the people who vote for them. We're told that young white men are the only ones that are actually not allowed to have a heritage, which is a very weird, that's sort of the war that you kind of see inside of conservatism right now. It's like, well, we're okay with identity politics for everyone except like normal young Americans, right? That's not going to work. Either you're going to be like against identity politics, whatever. You're going to be against it in all cases. You can't have this like specific, we carve out for these people, but not for these people. That's not going to work.
I think one of the unique things about the president that we also take for granted, it was his ability to unite these disparate factions within the Republican Party.
Yeah,
Charlie was amazing at this.
Charlie was very good at it, but the Hawks, the religious conservatives, the business conservatives, the paleocons, he was really able to gather all these disparate factions behind him. And I suspect that we're actually heading towards a realignment and civil war within the Republican Party, and the next Republican candidate, presidential candidate, will struggle to really coalesce all these disparate factions as effectively as the president is. And I'm really concerned about Republicans snatching defeat from the jaws of victory with how they're running this, because
so
it's really all coming out now. And I suspect the Civil War and these these cracks in the factions are only going to dig deeper as we
Yeah,
continue.
they
So-
are.
Yeah, the table's already set for that. I mean, you've seen people over this last week already trying to poison the well for JD Vance, who, as it stands right now, would be a shoo-in for the Republican nominee and probably the presidency. And they're already trying to poison the well because there's people, it's a huge contingent, like I said, because the Republican Party has been defined as being the opposition party to a varying degree, the party of slowing the Democrats down, is there's a massive infrastructure in the right wing of like being contrarian, like just being natural contrarians. And so the fact that we're actually winning right now is actually terrifying to these people because they're so used to being a contrarian where they're like alarm bells are going off. It's like, oh, things are going well for us. Something must be wrong. And then they just dive into these bizarre conspiracies.
Oh, wow. We're winning. It's time to like start like firing on our own ranks, right? It doesn't make sense. I think
it was turning each other
I might
alive.
take issue with
But
that.
politics is
a lot.
always
I think,
cannibalistic.
JD Vance did a turning point speech recently where he fielded a bunch of questions. It was on the Charlie Kirk tour or whatever. He was finishing it off. But he did, I think, a great job of fielding a lot of questions from these different warring factions. There were some uncomfortable questions there about Israel and his wife's faith and being in interracial marriage. And I think he handled it with poise. I think J.D. Vance will be able to keep the coalition together, maybe not as well as Trump does, because Trump is like a really once-in-a-generation kind of political figure. But I have faith that J.D. Vance will be able to do that. I think it is more difficult that Charlie is out of the picture now.
Yeah, well, also like Vance is tapping into the secret sauce that Trump tapped into, and he was almost the first Republican to ever realize this, is that like young white guys are actually pretty effective at like political activism and these sorts of things. Granted, a lot of it's online. And Trump was like the first Republican in a long time who actually like directly addressed their concerns and needs. And I think that's the secret sauce that Vance is not afraid to tap into as well. As you don't have to like go and stump or whatever and pander, but like actually just sit there and address their needs is very valuable. And Republicans just refuse to do this because they're still so paranoid of being perceived as like identity politics or racist or whatever.
I think there's so much going on with Vance, and I feel like there is a growing group of nativist and groyper types that do have, according to their ideology, like valid criticisms of the president. These guys are like not hyper religious, but very Catholic, and Vance converted to Catholicism. And I guess they are supposing like if you believe in these beliefs and if you believe that America's a Christian nation and whatnot, then you know how does that conflict with your wife being of a different belief? You know. I mean, it's whether or not you think that's fair game. I mean, she would be the first lady, and you're a public figure, and like you know. Also, I feel like this Israel stuff isn't going anywhere. The anti-Israel sentiment is only increasing in the Republican Party, and it's going to fracture the Zionist part of the coalition, and it's also going to fracture the war hawk. The national security cons, which I mean, people like to joke around about how important of a you know, part of the coalition they are, but I think they're important. And I mean, we're coming on the heels of the death of Dick Cheney, who kind of represented the modern day peace through strength. And, you know, everybody manages to talk shit about his death online. The worst people could die. Nobody has anything bad to say about them. But when our former conservative Republican vice president passes away, everybody has a mouthful.
Yeah, they have something.
Well, the Usha attack line is the most bizarre one to me because when they met and got married, Vance was an agnostic, so like the faith wasn't really an issue, and then he converted Catholicism after they were married. So the attack line makes no sense. Like, what do you want him to do? Divorce her? Like, is that what you wanted her to do?
They want, America. That's what they want.
I'm like, not very Catholic.
Yeah,
last
they
time I
want him
checked,
to
you
go
guys
for
don't believe in
Erica.
divorce. Like, what are we doing here?
They want him to divorce her and him to sign the deportation papers to send her out of the country, and his kids too. They want him to get rid of his kids. That's legitimately. There are people that are like, yo, we can't have Vance because he actually married this Indian woman. There are people that now I don't know how influential they're going to be in the future, but they exist and they are vocal on the internet.
I think people don't. They have issues with Indians, and Usha Vance is an Indian, and I feel like anti-Indian racism is increasing. I don't know. Am I off base here?
I don't think that it's
am I unique in noticing this?
I don't think that it's just Indian.
I would qualify this with so I worked in DFW at the Blaze for the past couple years, and you would be shocked at the amount of foreigners that are taking over in DFW. It's not like there are just like one or two just sprinkled in, and it's like entire neighborhoods are being taken over.
Narendra Modi came to visit, and he had filled an arena, and they were more excited to see him than President Trump.
It's not necessarily like we need to have. I don't. You said like anti-Indian racism or whatever. It's like no, it's not. I don't hate anyone. I just love America and Americans. And if these people are not coming here to like assimilate to our culture, but they're setting up like,
Indians
different
assimilate better
shops
than
and businesses
Afghanis
and whatever that are all
Iraqis.
for
Iraqis assimilate
their people as opposed to Americans. It's like
I would say
that is a problem.
Pakistanis,
Thanks for checking
Afghanis,
out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the
the
show
high
live
Muslim
Monday through
concentrated
Friday
areas.
at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel.
Do not assimilate at all. Stick with their ways. Try to impose their laws. But some of these going on. Here's the relevance.
Now, here's the real evidence of Turning Point USA that they don't want you to know.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. He's dead. God help him.
Shame on you for criticizing Terrell for his reaction. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live or make a video. Make sure you're still subscribed to this channel. Let's get into this. Every time you watch me, when I talk about a police shooting, when I talk about any of these things, I make sure that I do my due diligence first. And I rule out all the stuff first before I present it to you. It makes no sense for me to say, what if the what if was a what if when the what if before the what if was what if.
Big
And then get you all riled
up.
up. And you know what? Wait till my next show. Wait till the next clip. Wait till the next post. I know all the tea, but I don't want to tell you all the tea now because I want to keep making money off of you. So I'm going to drip it and drip to the end. So let's talk about Terrell. Now they put his name out there. I'm going to call his name. Terrell is one of the nicest, coolest, faithful guys that I have ever met in my life. I've been working with Terrell since I first started Turning Point. When he first started, I have done probably 20 or 30 events with Terrell. When I was going on tour for the last 2 years on all these college campuses, many of them, Terrell was there. And Terrell set up the tent. He put on my lapel mic. He monitored the cameras. And he endured for 3 hours every time, listening to people that say the craziest things you can ever think you can hear of. He did the same thing with Charlie. Terrell is a good dude. And they now are using him to make money and get you all riled up. Terrell never released this video publicly. That was his own personal video that he decided to make.
I don't know either.
When the rubber hit the road, his friend died in front of him. And one of the things that came to his mind was probably recording his last recording ever. Because he don't know if somebody's going to come and do a rampage. Everybody's running. There's shots fired. We don't know if there's multiple assailants. And Terrell decided to do this. Terrell will never portray Charlie Kirk. I will put my life on Terrell. I can't name these other people. I don't know. If I don't know whether you would do, will you betray Charlie or not, I can't speak for you. But I know Terrell. He would never betray Charlie. He's not a combat veteran.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's going to do things that now, in hindsight, some people think is mysterious. When they say he stepped on the chair and he took down the cameras, you put your thinking cap on real quick. The shooting has been over for a period of time now. Now you see some of the FBI agents are showing up. He's taking down. Would you want him to leave it up there in perpetuity? He take it down, give it over to the FBI.
I don't know.
Well, let's play this clip real quick of Terrell that people are now blasting him over, because I'm going to defend him to no end. And I don't care if you like it or not, to be honest. I'm going to stand by. I'm a loyal person. I'm going to stand by people that I can vouch for. Roll the clip.
Yeah.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie.
Yeah. I was in disbelief too when this happened.
God help him.
Shame on you. I'm looking at you. Shame on you for criticizing Terrell for his reaction. Were you there? Did you witness Charlie die in front of you? And I don't want to hear nobody say, he prematurely said, did you see the video? My team saw the video the day it happened. I didn't see it. I was on the live stream praying because I saw the one at a distance. They watched it. And it popped up over here, and they go, oh, no. Oh, my God. I said, don't show it to me. Because I actually cared about Charlie. It hurt me. I cried on my live stream. My wife, nobody's ever seen me cry before. I cried on my live stream because I love Charlie. And I didn't want to see him die. But I knew that something was bad when they gave the reaction right over here. And when I later watched the close-up video, I said, there's no way he lived.
No way he lived. Yeah.
He died instantly.
You could tell.
And now the medical examiner and all the reports have come out. Yeah, he died instantly. It severed his spinal cord. Yeah. He got a pulse at the hospital, but he had already it was not connected. So the pulse was, they got the heart beating again because it's electrical, but it was no purpose of the heart beating because the brain wasn't connected to the body. Mm-hmm. It severed all of that. And me being a person who know something about ballistics, it don't matter if it was a 5.56 or a 308 or a 30-06.
You say it.
When you get shot in the neck like that, the cavity that it creates is everything is eviscerated of the size of my fist through Charlie's neck. There's no way he survived it. Imagine watching it in person and seeing blood come out of his neck and his body stiff and his eyes roll back. Terrell knew he was gone. Yep. You didn't know because you wasn't there. I'm watching his real reaction of fear, anxiety, stress. He don't know what to do. What would you do? Yeah. Oh, you wasn't there. Oh, you've never been in a situation like this before. I've seen cops act like this at a crime scene that we've done 5 or 6 times already. But it's cute for you to judge behind your TV screen, behind your cell phone, in your mama base, wherever y'all doing y'all thing at, than to have a heart for this man. Your reaction should be, dang. Like when I just looked at this, I'm like, my heart broke for him because I know him. And I know how much he loved Charlie. You foolish person that will judge him in that way. So if you want to participate, get you one of these shirts.
Yeah. I don't like that people, all these conspiracy theories are out there. What you doing? What you doing, baby girl? What? That don't.
But yay!
that noise?
Every cut, every movement into an opportunistic infection because, quite frankly, they are just pissed off. They look up, they see wealth, exceptional wealth across my generation, people in certain industries, and they are really struggling. Their purchasing power is going down, and the incumbents create artificial scarcity on campus. We take pride in rejecting 90% of our applicants, so the incumbents who already have a degree see their degree go up in value.
Okay, all right. So Galloway lays out a lot there, and I'm going to show you another clip of him in just a second. But he points out something that I think if you put aside, let's put aside Trump, let's put aside Mamdani, Democrats, Republicans, all that
Your
stuff.
microphone.
If what he laid out
colors.
is correct, that for the moment, as it stands right now, in this particular moment, that if you are 30 years old, there is every reason to believe it will be worse for you. You will, in essence, have less.
You try to talk to them.
Life is just about
You try to talk to them to
you
just
will have less. It will be harder for you to own a home. And then you add the social parts of it where people are having less sex and all that other stuff. But if you think it's going to be tougher for you for the first time in America than it was for your parents, right? And I just want everyone for just a moment, you guys in this room can do it, and everyone watching this can do it. I want you to try to think about your parents for just a second, and if you have it better or worse, now think about your grandparents. Did your parents have it better or worse, and do you have it better or worse? Now, if you knew them, if you were lucky enough to know them, I knew 3 of them, great-grandparents. Did you have it better or worse? And I can tell you in the trajectory of my family, it got better every generation. Now, if my son at 30 felt, wow, it's going to be worse for me than it was for dad, well, then something about that social contract would have broken down. So to whatever extent the government has a role in that, then it is showing. It doesn't matter if it's a Republican in power or a Democrat in power. If young people feel that, I can't get a house, I'm working harder and getting less. Again, to whatever extent it's true, that is a huge problem. And then that will lead a whole bunch of them who have also been educated with the wrong ideas to think that socialism will give you stuff, will freeze rent, will give you free buses, go get your once-a-week groceries at the government-run grocery store. They might turn to all of the wrong solutions. The housing part of this, of course, is probably the biggest one. And you know, I don't give a lot of financial advice on the show, but I always say that one of the things that I view as a good marker of a good economy is when interest rates are low, you can borrow from the bank. I like paying my mortgage because it's like, oh, I'm paying my mortgage. My house is increasing in value. I'm paying some small percentage when interest rates are low. I'm paying some small percentage to the bank. They have to make some money too. And then you can hopefully sell the house, make a profit. Someone else can get in. Like, that's the beauty of the fluidity of capitalism. However, it is struggling right now. Where's Galloway on that?
Better.
We get very concerned with housing and traffic once we go into housing. Housing permits are sequestered from young people. Housing prices have gone from $290 to $420 in the last 4 years. So a young person, a house, stocks that I don't own skyrocket in value. Let's have COVID relief and flush the markets and take assets way up, because if 1 million people dying would be bad, it would be tragic if I got less wealthy. And we're doing it on their credit card. Young people have every reason to be enraged, and every issue they see, they look up, they get angry, and they see someone doing better than them. And then every day it is speedballed in their face that they are failing, that they are not doing as well as everyone around them. We have lost the script. Our kids are more anxious, they're more depressed, they're more obese, they're more addicted, and we have made a purposeful decision to let this happen by ensuring that people around this table stay wealthy at the cost of young people.
Okay, so he's addressing a whole bunch of things here, because, right, like there's all the social stuff about why they're addicted and why they're anxious and all that, related to the phone, related to drug use, related to social media, related to just the breakdown of face-to-face contact and all of those other things. But at the end of the day, so let's say you're like this, let's say you're moderate apolitical kid who grew up in a decent home, and you go to a college, and you don't get a degree in that much of anything that's that important, right? You get your lesbian basket weaving degree, right? And then you're out of college, and then you don't get this great job, and you're in some debt because you went to college in the first place, and no one said to you, you know, maybe you don't need that college degree in the first place. And now you're at some marginal job, and you're in debt, and you realize, boy, it's going to be tougher to get into the housing market because, as Scott pointed out, housing prices have almost doubled basically in the last 10 years. And there's a million reasons for that, and it's across the board blame. And then you see interest rates go up and all these other things. And then you start feeling like the whole system doesn't work. So what might you want to do? You might want to burn it down. So now let me go back to my friend Charlie Kirk, who back in July, he tweeted that video that I just showed you of Scott Galloway, and he wrote this. I think of this Scott Galloway clip often because Gen Z confirms his basic thesis to me directly every single day. I hear about how frustrated and angry young people are because they feel like buying a home and starting a family is out of reach for them. President Trump made historic gains with young voters because they trust him to set things right and oversee the rebirth of the American dream. We are making progress, but we are in a race against the clock. If we fail, we will see the rise of more and more mamdamis in elected office pushing class and race warfare. But if we deliver, and I believe we can, we will save America for the next generation and beyond. Well, unfortunately, Charlie is not with us right now. As the clock, at least as it pertains to New York City, has just run out, and they are now going to try the other experiment. And we all know how this experiment, because it's been run before, we know how this experiment ends. But Trump now, I would say Trump, for all of your wins, and there's been a lot of them, and they have not, a certain set of the media will never give you credit for it, and all these people will lie about you and all of those other things. Now you're going to have to fix perception around some of this stuff so you don't lose these young people to this mind virus. Here's Charlie Kirk again.
Let's take a step back. President Trump won the youth vote in many states across the country, in many battleground states. Now, Tucker, 12, 13 years ago when I started Turning Point, if you would have told me that a Republican running for the presidency would be winning the youth vote in Michigan and in Arizona, I'd say no way. It's an incomprehensible accomplishment of what President Trump was able to do. One of the reasons he was able to win younger voters and younger men, especially in big numbers, is that they were trying to get their leaders' attention. They said, hey, this guy, Donald Trump, he is pledging to go fix our economic anxiety. He is loud. He is going to get your attention. Donald Trump was a distress signal by a lot of young people, especially young men, that were stuck in a credit-centric renter economy. And again, this is what is the rise of Mamdani. It's just another iteration of this, only from...
I'm missing more and more every day. So now let's just give you a little backup evidence on what the conditions are that lead to that frustration. Listen to this. Home prices rose 197% since 2000. That is extraordinary. 200% since 2000. But household income only rose 40%. And by the way, that doesn't even factor in inflation. So your dollar is also worth less at the exact same time. So again, if you are a young person, and this is not the fault of Donald Trump, but this may be his moment to address it in a new way. If you are a young person and you're pissed about stuff, you might start just turning to the system. Please give me something, and I will live in a little box for free and make sure it never goes up in price. And I'll take the universal basic income and I'll eat at the government grocery store, and I'll never really accomplish an American dream, which is go out and get yours, because I won't see a path because of the current conditions. Listen to this from ChatGPT. According to a housing inflation calculator using the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics category for housing, something that cost $100,000 in 2020 would cost about $127 in 2025, a 27% increase. Official data using the Federal Housing Finance Agency Housing Price Index data, one summary estimates about a 55% increase from 2020 to 2025. And one more data point here, the total U.S. housing market value rose roughly 57% since 2020, according to Zillow. So something is happening with the houses. By the way, this is not Trump's fault, right? He is trying to clean up a lot of the mess. What I'm saying is I'm sounding the same alarm that Charlie was sounding, is he better address it now before we lose more cities and more young people. Those numbers, whether housing went up 27% in 5 years, which is an insanely high percentage to jump, or whether it was 55%, which is completely absurd. And we all know this. If you ever open up Zillow or Trulia or anything else, and just look at houses in your area and just look at their price history, and you're like, wait a minute, this house sold 3 years ago for $300,000, and now it's somehow $450,000 3 years later. None of it really makes sense. And of course, the Fed continues to fight Trump on this. They are not reducing interest rates. So a young person where you might have gotten a 3% interest rate, right? And then you can get in the game and you pay your little penalty to get the money that you're borrowing. Now it's 6, 7, 8%, and it's a lot more difficult to do that. So it seems to me, and this is a note for the Trump people, if the socialist campaigns on affordability, the socialists will win. But if the capitalist campaigns on affordability, the capitalists will win, because the capitalists can create better economic conditions. And I think maybe that's what Trump needs to focus on right now. That's what you have to do, focus on the issues. So a little bit more on the housing market, because I think this is really an important piece of this that we need to focus on going forward.
I also think they need to be more vocal
10 facts
in general, the leaders.
U.S. homes are getting smaller. The size of new homes being built has declined by 12% since 2016.
Yeah, because they're not having large families.
All home buyers is now 49 years old, up from 31 in 1981. That is an extraordinary difference. Our home price model predicts that house price
This is a whole family going like yours. This could be where we are.
40% of U.S. homes don't have a mortgage, meaning they're owned outright altogether. That's usually
this is where
older people. The average number of homes sold per real estate agent every year is 21, down from 54 in 2004. So people are buying way less homes. Households' equity in real estate is at a record high, 73% of housing values. A record 36% say they would rent if they were going to move. You want to own something. It's a key part of being a functional citizen. More than half of all mortgages outstanding have an interest rate below 4%. 95% of mortgages outstanding are 30-year fixed rate, and 63% of all mortgages outstanding were issued after 2018. So I think we've illustrated something here. There is a legitimate problem. Is the solution socialism? No. Is the solution communism with a side of jihad? Absolutely not. It is capitalism, and it is freeing markets and creating the conditions so that there is more competition. And there's also something that people on the right can do, which is stop some of the crazy infighting that has burst forth over the last 2 or 3 months. Here is Vivek on last night's results.
We got our asses handed to us in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City. Democrats swept all three. There's 2 key lessons for Republicans. Listen carefully. Number 1, our side needs to focus on affordability. Make the American dream affordable. Bring down costs, electric costs, grocery costs, healthcare costs, and housing costs, and lay out how we're going to do it. And number 2, cut out the identity politics. It doesn't suit Republicans. It's not for us. That's the woke left's game, not ours. We don't care about the color of your skin or your religion. We care about the content of your character. That's who we are.
Well,
let me deal with the second part first. Obviously, there is no room for this identity politic lunacy on the right, and this is what he's really calling out right there, is the endless assault that has been coming from certain quarters on the right, mostly at the Jews, but by the way, it's been on the Indians too. He is getting a crazy hit. You know, he posted a picture with his kids who obviously are Indian and was getting hit by the same people that are going after the Jews all the time. And JD's wife, Usha, who happens to be Indian and brown and not Christian, they were going after her too. So enough of that, guys. Enough already. But the first part is the key part here. To whatever extent the government can do anything to fix economic conditions, and it can do something, it must be done right now. Like Trump, you got to get on this. You've got to get on this now. Like people need to feel like capitalism works because it does work. Who has the quote, capitalism is the best of all bad systems, something like that? Like, and capitalism is what allows you to have a little skin in the game, fight for what is yours and trade freely with other people. It is a beautiful thing. Again, that all of our ancestors fled highly controlled communist societies
This I saw a video on it before. Mm-hmm. Fantastic Four, baby.
Who is that?
And go to Rumble.
What is that?
Cool flying car.
Oh, it's the superhero's car.
Mm-hmm. I think, and I might be correct, Crowder is on.
And that's the thing. It's
Oh,
the start.
Oh, bub. I'm gonna eat this brownie.
Hey, look at the setup. The set is different. That's how you know that we're gonna have a guest, a long form sit down. And this it's a new lighter. It's very hot.
Oh.
I just singed my knuckle hair. This is a great start. It's time to relax, have fun, and if you're watching on YouTube, stop. It's Ash Wednesday. And our guest today, you know, he's been here in the studio, controversial figure, sometimes. I mean, he's always been very nice to us. Fresh and fit on Rumble and Kick at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's it's the #1 men's self-improvement podcast in the world. And this is a man who gets flack from all sides, Mr. Myron Gaines.
Thank you for having me, man.
Did I get the plugs right?
Pretty much.
My first question, which one is fresh and which one is and or fit?
Probably me. I'm the fit one, or I'm supposed to be.
Okay.
And then fresh is the black guy who wears the chains.
Okay. All right. So he's black, and you were also black, but some of the colored folk don't consider you amongst them, right? Have I heard this correct?
Yes. So the blacks don't consider me one of them, which is fine because I'm not a nigger anyway.
Is this your favorite?
It's going to be that kind of show.
Coming in hot.
Hold on a second. You want to repeat that intro?
Yeah, so the niggers don't consider me one of them, but that's fine. I don't mind. Not a big deal.
Why is that? Because you're Sudanese?
Yeah, so my family's from Sudan. I was born here in the United States.
Right.
My parents were born over there, immigrated here, you know, figured it out, weren't criminals, weren't degenerates, didn't do drugs. My mom didn't leave my dad to take welfare. They're still together to this day. We had a nuclear family, and though we were poor, we were able to figure it out, which is, you know, the foundation of any thriving society is the nuclear family, and I credit my parents for that.
So are they both Sudanese, or are any?
Both Sudanese, yep.
Are any of them pirates?
No, those are Somalians.
I know I thought it was both.
Yeah.
What was it called? The little bighorn of.
So I'm actually very racist towards Somalians and Ethiopians. I hate them because they're like dirty pirates.
They're like dirty pirates.
They're not Arabs like us. We're higher class.
That's true. Okay, well that makes sense.
Funny enough, like do the weird language.
I dated an Ethiopian girl.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, she was far lighter skinned than I had been led to believe.
Okay.
You know, I was branching out. And she said, we're going to go to an Ethiopian restaurant. And I said, well, we're going to have sand bowls and well water.
I was going to say, like, they don't even have a cuisine. What is a hot bowl of nothing?
It's that spongy bread that tastes like, you ever had, it's like Indian food, like naan bread, but it's spongy. It's really gross. But she was attractive, so I put up with it.
Sugar?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't necessarily know if the carnivore diet. I think it's whatever they can whack with a stick.
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much.
that and sand.
Yeah, you know. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it's the cradle of civilization. It's just funny that it still looks like the cradle. Now.
Yeah, but they're the ops for us.
Yes. Okay.
We don't like them.
So explain, because obviously, like, we always have people like, and I'm this way, where sometimes I'm like, well, people don't necessarily know what it's misrepresented. How would you, and you've been on the show, but how would you sort of encapsulate like your views to the uninitiated? What do you think people get wrong about you?
Oh man. So I'll kind of just go through some of my worldviews, and then we can kind of go from there. So I think women are stupid and need to be back in the kitchen and second-class citizens.
Right.
I think men are better than women.
That lifeline back that I gave.
Yeah. I think men are better than women at almost everything that matters. Jews control America and have too much power. A lot of Muslims are retarded. Let's see here. What else? Oh, Jeets stink. They're deodorant dodgers.
Okay.
Blacks have a perpetual victimhood.
Okay.
Whites can't dance and their food sucks.
Hey.
And you guys also don't control your women enough, because it's always fucking white women that are in the front of every liberal movement. So I think you guys need to put them in the kitchen even harder. They're way too much represented in the college campuses and the workforce.
Yeah.
What else? Other races do I dislike?
Let's go with
Asians are good at math, but still not cool.
Okay. Plus, they're odd.
It's close.
Awkward as fuck.
It's very, very odd. Like it's an odd culture, like where it's almost like we're from a different planet.
And the men are like cucks.
I don't know about that, but I'll assume it's true. Are there any races that you do like?
So much. No.
No.
No. Okay. All right.
No one's ever asked me that. No one's ever asked me that. I was like, because there's always the ones I hate, but no one's ever asked me like, which ones do you like? And I was like,
Maybe you're just a pessimist. That's really what it is. It's not a racist thing. You're just a pessimist where you just see the worst among everyone.
You know, I think race separates us, but racism brings the real niggas together.
Yeah.
And that's why we're sitting down together right now, because we're real niggas that are all racist to a degree.
I think one thing you know this, and it's kind of the same thing in hockey. Sometimes the guys who people see as the most brutal are actually the nicest guys. Are actually the guys who have some kind of a code, you know, some kind of honor that they follow. Whereas a lot of times people who present the G golly, sort of Roy Rogers, they do have two personas. And I think that there's something to be said for saying the same thing publicly that you would say privately.
Yes. That's actually one of the biggest things that I take to heart. Like whenever someone comes to me and says, hey, can I get a picture or whatever, and I chat with them for a little bit, they're like, wow, you're the same guy on and off camera. Because they're not used to like personalities, like being the same dude on and off. And for me, I look at it like, I prefer to, you know, get some shadow ban, get banned here, demonetize here, blah, blah, so that I can be the same guy on and off camera. Because I don't think you could put a price on that. And a lot of us here, you know, on the more right side of things, we tend to be far more authentic and honest with our views.
Yeah.
Obviously, it costs us a lot of money, but I think you can't really put a price on being able to be the same person on and off camera, because it's really draining to be a fake.
Yeah.
You know, you got to put on that mask like, hi, guys, how you doing? You know, you look at any of these like thought Twitch streamers, like they hate their jobs, really. They just do it for the money. All these simps come up to them and, you know, are perverted and shit. They don't really like what they do. But I think being able to be authentic allows you to, number one, do it longer. Number two, have that level of credibility. And then number three, be relatable.
Yeah, well, I think the left has picked up on that, because that's what they try and do now, is poke holes in authenticity, right?
Yeah.
If the smear attacks come, it's not like this guy's a bad boy anymore. It's like, this guy doesn't believe what he says because insert whatever here.
Yeah. So I think like there's just a certain level of authenticity and relatability that you just can't put a price on. And I would forego, you know, tens of millions of dollars, right, to make significantly less so that I can be myself on and off camera. Because, you know, when the mask slips, it's really bad for you. Like people say, oh, you're fake, whatever, if they, you know, catch you, you know, breaking character off camera. So, you know, because I truly do think a lot of these like leftists that are sitting here talking about women's rights and stuff, they womanize harder than some of us. So it's like,
of course they do.
Well, maybe even more than me. So, you know, but they fake it. Like Harry says it, for example, we got caught like talking to all these girls on the side.
Yeah, and I was like, there's nothing wrong with this, but I'm going to watch him burn because it's fun.
Yeah. And it's like, because he's like putting all this propaganda out, like, oh yeah, women's rights, and like, yeah, but he's over here womanizing just like a lot of us do, right? So that's the problem with these guys, is they're just not authentic.
I think it's kind of funny when you sort of look, when people talk about the Overton window, and it's conservative Christians defending Hooters. Yeah. So that's a real shift, you know, it's where we're like, look, we're, you know, as a Christian conservative, I'm anti-pornography. I think it's bad for society, for culture.
Agree.
I think it rots the brain.
Yeah.
But I also think that the idea that we can't appreciate beautiful women is ridiculous. So the same Christians who are like, hey, this shouldn't be on, for example, like South Park. This shouldn't be on during prime time where kids could see it. But like, of course, adults should be able. Now they're the ones defending whatever, Hooters or Twin Peaks or whatever, the slutty kilt, whatever it's called. Because we're like, yeah, but you don't get to tell adults what they do in their own time. We're able to separate the two. Whereas now we're infantilized by the left. Like Harry Sisson, what was it? He sent a couple of dick pics? Is that what it was? Something like that?
Yeah, he was like flirting with multiple girls, pretending like he was being exclusive to them.
Right.
Okay.
Basically, he was being a player.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we don't give a shit about. But like over there, that's a big problem because now you're like being, you know, oh my God, you're being a womanizer, you're being a misogynist, you're being all this crap. And it's like women do the same shit. It's just that like when a guy does it, right, it's a big problem.
Well, because they don't expect it. Now, do you ever get in hot water? Because you're a lady, lovely, fetching lady. I think like a lady out there. I don't want to speak out of turn. Does it ever hurt you in your relationships where they hear you be like, we're all players? Do you have to? So you're gonna go back and she's like, you have some splaining to do, you know, in Sudanese.
Well, yeah. Yeah, she'll say it in Arabic. No, we need to talk. So they don't because like I'm very open about that. Like I tell girls all the time, I'm not gonna be monogamous to you. I tell them all the time, men lead, women follow. And you know, and I do want to be important because this is another thing that people kind of misconstrue about me. I don't tell guys to run out there and be like a womanizer like forever. I just want guys to be able to understand women, and I understand for you to truly be able to understand modern women and the way that they move nowadays. Unfortunately, like religion and culture and all the things that used to keep women in place, the church and shame, all these institutions.
No. Premium content only. No.
It's on Halloween.
Well. Nothing on here. I think he does. Like he doesn't stink, but is your bullet full, Bubby?
It's an argument we've heard time and time again. That if only people could experience socialism or communism, they would change their minds about it. We have this from the Free Press, Coleman Hughes. New York City's socialist experiment begins. Zoran Mamdani is actually getting flack from many liberals because his tone is changing. He is a communist. In this article, Coleman Hughes writes, the antidote to Marxism has always been experiencing Marxism. Today, the Big Apple becomes an unwitting test subject. Let's entertain that concept, good sir, and go with 69 years of the Soviet Union. How about the ongoing Chinese communist authoritarianism? 100 million dead. We can take a look at Venezuela. Venezuela's been experiencing Marxism for some time now. Ain't been cured of it. This argument is bunk. But we keep hearing it. Chicago is a great example. Brandon Johnson has run the city into the ground, and yet no one seemed to have learned a lesson. Now, a better example would be Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, and then you get Brandon Johnson. Zoran Mamdani will cause an exodus, entrench communist authority, and they will blame everyone else. Now, that being said, I'm hoping for a real exodus, as what may actually then happen is that millionaires and billionaires leave the city and their tax revenue dries up, and then they're in trouble. But they'll just go to the state, and they'll say, state, pay the rest of our bills, which is what they do. I don't think this will cure anyone of socialism or communism. But there's a potential argument that outside of the cities, this could entrench conservative rule in other swing districts. As more moderate right-leaning individuals flee blue areas, if they move into purple areas, they can turn them red. And let the blue stay blue, they will lose their authority. So we'll see. Let's read a little bit from Coleman Hughes. He says, last night, the once unimaginable happened. New York City elected a socialist as a mayor. Zoran Mamdani is a member of the DSA, an organization dedicated to transforming the power relations of global capitalism. How did we get here? According to Coleman Hughes, you can't answer that question without reading Thomas Sowell, one of the world's most influential economists and social philosophers. and has written more than 45 books, we know Thomas Sowell is a genius. It would seem a perfect time for Marxists to celebrate. New York City has elected a proud socialist mayor, but if history is any guide, the celebration may be short-lived. Across the world, from the Soviet Union to Venezuela, the antidote to Marxism has always been experiencing Marxism. Indeed, some of the fiercest and most effective critics of Marxism began as Marxists themselves. This was true, for instance, of Robert Nozick, Irving Kristol, Robert Conquest, Paul Johnson, Deirdre McCloskey, Kingsley Amis, and Eugene Genovese, and Elizabeth Fox Genovese. Of all the intellectuals that started out as collectivists, only to become staunch capitalists, perhaps none is more famous than Thomas Sowell. Sowell was drawn to Karl Marx as a young man, because as he put it, the German philosopher explained so much of his grim experience. Well, Karl Marx was a retard who had no real experience and didn't understand how economics worked. So he wrote a bunch of retarded garbage,
way to put it.
and people to this day believe it
And
because
still
they're
eat it.
retarded. Unfortunately,
What
what pierced Sowell's bubble? He summed it up in one word: evidence. That evidence was not gleaned from his studies. Indeed, he remained a Marxist even at the University of Chicago. In 1960, a 30-year-old Sowell served as an intern in the Department of Labor, assigned to analyze Puerto Rico's sugar industry, where a federal minimum wage applied. As he looked at the data, Sowell noticed a troubling pattern. Every time the minimum wage was raised, unemployment climbed. Sowell began to wonder whether the law itself was causing the job losses, as standard economic theory would predict. His colleagues disagreed. They offered another explanation. A hurricane had devastated the crops. To find out which explanation was correct, Sowell proposed a test. What we need, told his cold workers excitedly, are stats on the amount of sugarcane standing in the field before the hurricanes came through Puerto Rico. If there was plenty of sugarcane before the storms, then the hurricane couldn't be the culprit. The suggestion was met with stunned silence and promptly rejected. After all, one-third of the department's funding was tied to enforcement of the minimum wage law. For Sowell, it was a minimum wage office. For the Marx-curious denizens of New York, it may well be Zoran Mamdani's government-run grocery stores, if they even materialize. For the most part, Mamdani voters do not come from deep poverty like Sowell does. Indeed, in the primary, Cuomo outperformed Mamdani with low-income New Yorkers. They do, however, come from a generation that feels, rightly or wrongly, that the American dream is harder for them to achieve than it was for their parents. Many are saddled with college debt and degrees that are worthless to prospective employers, even if their experience is nowhere near as grim as Sowell's. Now, my friends, that brings us to the great socialist experiment. Okay, so what's going to happen? These people who have worthless degrees, who can't find jobs, can't pay the bills, can't buy property, they are not going to accept fault for the mistakes they made. They're going to either blame billionaires and rich people and call them parasites, or they'll blame society. Now, to be fair, I do, to a certain degree, blame society. And
Yeah,
I think the boomers, I'm sorry, boomers, largely at fault, begging, go to college, they said. Go to college, they lied. Fortunately for me, I didn't. And I owe much of my success not just to not going to college, but I believe a large component of what made me who I am brought me to not going to college, right? So as a young person,
the work that he had to
solving my
to
own
get to where
problems,
he
I
is.
could not rationalize how college made sense. Well, the boomer generation begged millennials, go to college, begged them, take out debt, and now they're saddled with debt they can't pay off, and they have no opportunities. The degrees are worthless because a degree never guaranteed success. All it did was make a bunch of indentured servants who are ready to revolt. Unfortunately, for our good friend Coleman Hughes, the cure for Marxism ain't Marxism, and never has been. I guess you can argue that Marxism, like cancer, eventually destroys the host. But Venezuela's been Marxist for decades now, and ain't nothing changing. It's just in disarray. The cure is chemotherapy. Excising the tumors. It's the only thing that's ever really worked. The Soviet Union buckled under its own failure. North Korea barely gets by, and they're largely propped up by China, protected. And it doesn't work. It literally doesn't work. It's funny, you take a look at the nighttime satellite view of the Koreas, and there's a funny meme where it's like, let's take one country, split it in half between communists and capitalists, and then see what happens. South Korea is developed, beautiful, fat, and happy. maybe to their own detriment. North Korea is remarkably underdeveloped and starving. Sad, really. Did the people of North Korea learn their lesson for their communist dictatorship? No, they've learned nothing. Many of them have escaped or have tried to. People in East Germany tried to escape as well. Certainly, you can argue that everybody knows Marxism is bad when they experience it, but you can't cure it. If the argument is an individual realizes the mistake they've made, sure, but Marxism as a system takes over and ain't nothing you can do to stop it. Well, what I would say is you can't vote your way out. You can vote your way in, but you ain't voting your way out. And we are sliding downhill. I feel like it's ultimately inevitable because what happens is, listen, people want stuff. They want stuff. Everybody wants stuff because you need stuff to live. And we are driven to acquire stuff because stuff helps us live better. So what happens when you don't know how to get stuff? Zoran Mamdani comes along and says, I'll just take it from other people and give it to you. And you're like, well, that's one means of getting stuff. You think there is honor and integrity? I tell you, nay. Nay. Not honor, not integrity, just acquisition. If you go back far enough, you have famine. Do you think a father watching his children starve cares about honor? No, he's getting food for his child. So in a place like New York, where you've got diversity, these people just say, I don't care about you, your system, your city. I will extract every last drop that I can, and I will leave you in ruins, like a virus or a vampire. And that's what you get. Zoran Mamdani will extract whatever he can to enrich himself, burn the city to the ground, figuratively, I might add. Or, I don't know, maybe there's potential for it, literally. And then they'll move on. There is no reality where New Yorkers wake up because the New Yorkers who already know it's bad will flee. Any New Yorker who doesn't like what's going on will flee. And what happens? Venezuela. Why is Venezuela still communist? Because the people who didn't like the communism fled. And they've entrenched the power, and there's no one left to fight back. The only thing that communists have ever understood is conflict. Now, eventually, the Soviet Union buckled under its own weight because the system doesn't make sense and doesn't work, and collapsed into itself.
Again, it eats itself alive like every
We don't
other
have
country.
pure capitalism in the United States, but I say it again. This idea that you are going to wake people up and all of a sudden they're going to vote Republican is not going to happen. Probably because the Republicans are also losers as well. Who wants to vote for a spineless loser? Nobody?
Who has no voice,
Republicans
who's
are.
not willing to counter any
Now, to be
of
fair,
these Democrat
there are many
talking points.
Republicans saying, stop dooming about losing elections in blue states. It was amazing that the Republicans won what they did, but blue states are going to be blue. Fair point. The AG race is pretty terrifying, though, as to what it says of what Republicans can deal with now with Democrats in the AG's office. It's particularly worrying. I think we have a lot to consider as to what we can expect going forward. But I will not keep playing this game of, if only people experience communism, because we had the George Floyd riots. Ain't nobody learned a lesson. We have Brandon Johnson, Lori Lightfoot in Chicago. Ain't nobody learned a lesson. Seattle, Portland, California. Ain't nobody learning any lessons. You could have had Larry Elder in California. No one learned a lesson. No one's going to learn a lesson from New York. Stop pretending. I made this argument before. I was wrong. That maybe if people experience socialism, they'll wake up. Now we realize it's not the case. And the only thing that's going to stop communists is intervention. So I will say this. I have no problems nor complaints if Donald Trump were to intervene in Virginia over Jay Jones with legitimate intervention. I'm not saying go in right now and just stop what's going on. I'm saying watchdog, keep an eye on Virginia, and don't let Jay Jones kill people. Here's what I expect to happen under Jay Jones.
Yeah.
You're never going to hear the story. There'll be some news blip of a guy getting arrested for drugs or for fraud or taxes or some other cause, and no one will care. It won't reach the national level. But what will really be happening on the ground is that there will be a conservative guy who runs a business, criminally charged. Jay Jones will start targeting his political opponents. Show me the man and I'll show you the crime. The way to describe it is this, easy way to understand. I've explained how I will not be returning to Chicago to visit family anymore because they killed Charlie Kirk. If they're willing to kill Charlie Kirk, what more would they be willing to do? And if you look up the story from NBC, you can read about how I was targeted along with Luke Rutkowski and a few of our friends by the police 13 years ago. They tried planting drugs in our vehicle and framing us. Crazy story. It really happened. It's not a joke. It's not a conspiracy. It literally happened. We documented it all on live stream. And I said this. I get off a plane in Chicago. I'm at O'Hare or whatever. And there's 3 state troopers standing outside the gate when I walk off the plane. And they say, Mr. Poole, could you come here a second? We got a tip from someone on the plane. They frisk me, and in their palm is a little bag of cocaine. And they go, whoa, what was this in your pocket? And I'll say that wasn't in my pocket. And there'll be like 3 witnesses say otherwise. What happens? Well, I get falsely criminally charged. Then I get sent to jail. And when people say, whoa, Tim Poole got arrested, the state says this has nothing to do with politics. The man was just carrying drugs. In fact, the feds should charge him too. And what are you going to do about it? Those weren't my drugs. Well, 3 cops say they were. You're convicted. And you're going to prison for 4 years. And you might say, Tim, you're paranoid. I will just remind you, Charlie Kirk is dead. He's dead. They killed him. Now, by all means, argue who you think did, but somebody certainly wanted to take him out of the picture. I recently had a security assessment once again, and I've been advised to increase security detail. It's pretty crazy reality. This is where we are now as a country. And I hope people are paying attention to exactly what's going on. I'll leave it there. Smash the like button, share the show with everyone you know. Stay tuned. More to come. We'll see you all in the next segment.
Breaking shit down. I like play him though. like California got to gerrymander what they wanted to gerrymander. Pelosi won him that. Newsom can't win anything on his own. What? Oh, okay, Bobby. Yeah. No, Diva, you can't. Come here, girl. Diva, come on. Come here. Touch. Oh. Diva, come here. Touch. Where? Hi.
Overnight, a stunning sweep for Democrats and a rejection of candidates backed by President Trump.
Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
In the nation's largest city, a political earthquake. 34-year-old Democratic Socialist Zoran Mamdani is now the new voice of New York.
In this moment of political darkness, New York
He'll go as high up as he can get.
will be the light.
Mamdani makes history as the first Muslim mayor.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants. And as of tonight, led by an immigrant.
His campaign energized New York, which had not seen turnout so high for a mayoral election since 1969. Mamdani will be the city's youngest mayor in a century. Mamdani zeroed in on the high cost of living in New York, pledging free childcare, a rent freeze, and free buses. He came from nowhere to defeat Andrew Cuomo, the former governor whose family has been a presence in New York politics since the 1980s.
Congratulations to Zoran Mamdani. No. That is not right. That is not right, and that is not us. That is not us. Tonight was their night.
President Trump endorsed Cuomo over Republican Curtis Sliwa, who finished a distant third. Democrats can now debate whether the party's future belongs to Mamdani or to moderates like the 2 women who won the night's other high-profile races. In New Jersey, Trump endorsed businessman Jack Ciattarelli, losing the governor's race to Democratic Representative Mikey Sherrill.
I am incredibly honored to be your next governor.
In Virginia, Democrat Abigail Spanberger flipping control of the state and making history as Virginia's first female governor. She struck a bipartisan tone during a time of deep nationwide division.
I believe in this idea that there is so much more that unites us as Virginians and as Americans than divides us.
And in California, voters changed the state's congressional map to heavily favor Democrats, countering Republican redistricting in Texas and other states, as the focus now turns to next year's midterms and control of Congress.
Yes, that speech is very significant. It still continues. There are no doubt more highlights to come. We'll turn them around and make sure that you see them. Otherwise, you can watch it all live right now over on Sky News Extra. That's the box, and you can go finding him on the app or on the Foxtel platform. All right, lots to get to tonight, including yet another opinion poll tells us what we already know. Australians have had enough when it comes to huge amounts of migration. It's not about culture. It's about the number of people that are here and the problems that that causes. We'll discuss that. Can you believe it? There are local councils that are now telling people about how many pets they can have at home. Now, I get it. None of us are huge fans of the crazy cat lady or the crazy cat fella. But literally telling you how many pets you can have? Okay. And the great Nigel Farage, the only place you'll see him on Australian TV, is here. He's got lots to say, including some big plans when it comes to the United Kingdom's economy. All of that matters. Why? Because all the polls say he could be their next Prime Minister. But first, something you have not heard thus far, and yes, we'll talk about everything from net zero to the Reserve Bank tonight, but I want to talk about how those in power at the federal, state and local level spend your money, otherwise known as other people's money, freely available to them, of which they piddle up against the wall, occasionally so hard they could move a brick, dare I say. Now, let's be honest, all of us are actually okay with the concept that Australia is a country where, yes, we pay our taxes and we expect in return for that that we can have access to incredible services, but more importantly, that people who are less fortunate than us have the opportunity to get those services, right? Of course, the tax office does this oh so regularly, every fortnight, every month, however you do, and if you can scrape a little bit back when it comes to a tax return, good luck to you. All of that is, of course, so we can have working hospitals, we can have plentiful schools, we can have quality roads. On all three of those, of course, we know that our country is failing. But there is one area of government spending that I thought you should know about, and this is the federal level. Before I show you, how much money do you think that the federal government spends, i.e. you and me, but the federal government, this federal government spends on public servants? Couple of $1 billion? No. This many $1 billion. Have a look. The total cost now of the Australian public service is very close to $30 billion. $30 billion. That number, by the way, has blown out in the past 12 months. Why? Because the Labor Party wants to increase, what do we like to say, the triangle of dependence. This does not surprise me, it does not surprise you, but have a look at some of these numbers. $841 million was overspent on public sector wages for 14 departments in the financial year 24-25. It could contribute to higher government spending already forecast to hit 27% of gross domestic product if Labor increases departmental spending, allowances to ease pressure to cut costs. Now, Australia is at a fork in a road. And I know that we've had an election where to even have a discussion about a reduction in the number of public servants resulted in hair being set on fire and cuts. And as soon as that word is used, then the Labor Party's off to the races. $30 billion. Can we go back to the original graph? Again, this is put together by the Parliamentary Budget Office and a reporter for the Financial Review. But let's have a look at the cost of the Australian public service in 2020 was a third less at $20 billion. The cost of the public service has gone from 2010, when it was, $15 billion, to now $30 billion. The Australian population has not effectively doubled since 2010. But the overall cost of public servants, and yes, included in this are members of the military, I understand that, but still, The total amount of public servant wages is now $30 billion. Now, this country, this year, will go into $1 trillion debt. Our budgets are in deficit for the next 40 years, and this bill only goes up. Our capacity to pay that bill only goes down. But because the triangle of dependence means that you either work for the government, you've got like 50% of people in this country, your major source of income coming from the government, or the government, if you're in private business, is your biggest client, nobody rocks the boat. More public servants in more seats means a message about cutting back on public servants, or at least holding the number at where it currently is, means everyone, well, certainly in the public service, loses their bottle, and it can determine elections. Now, when we turn around and say, how did Australia get into $2 trillion debt? We're currently in $1 trillion debt. This would be one of the reasons.
Have you guys ever witnessed a cheat?
Hey, camera secure.
Oh. Have you guys ever witnessed a cheater with absolutely no game sense or mechanics? Well, you're about to see this cheater. This is probably one of the dumbest cheaters we have probably seen yet on this YouTube channel. I hope you guys enjoy this, and if you guys get a cheater in your games or in real life like we've been saying, drop it in my Discord, and also come check out my Twitch for the best content ever. And your free drops. We are doing a hacker who basically played Quick Play, but they were playing Squirrel Girl. They were rage hacking on Squirrel Girl and then swapped off to Storm after I killed her as Squirrel Girl myself. So this hacker is going to be playing multiple characters, sorry. I swapped to Hulk after that because we had no tank, and they ended up with 21 final hits and 51% accuracy. They were banned for 100 years within 5 minutes of the match ending. So with that being said, chat, I think we have seen a Squirrel Girl hacker, but I think they're pretty rare. So we are gonna take a little look at this. Chat, let's just see hypothetically if we can like see their career profile.
Thanks for being a homie.
Damn, this account didn't even play 5 games, chat. Not completed. 4 games, and then they were banned. What we are gonna watch, you know what? We're gonna watch a quick one. Oh, this is the game that he got banned. It's not even here. He played on Heart of the Dragon. If you go look at his career profile, the Heart of the Dragon's not even here. Okay, let's see this, chat. Let's do a crosshair check first. Oh wait, no, this isn't Heart. What? Wait, maybe I was wrong. Okay, let's see this.
1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got it?
I wonder what he's trying to shoot at, chat. He probably definitely has wall hacks, right? Yeah, he definitely has wall hacks, chat. Wait. He has a projectile hack that doesn't even like launch. It's an instant hit. No, it's not, dude. Marvel Rivals has some of the fucking most wild cheats I've ever seen in any fucking game, chat. Even when we used to do hacker, spectating hackers in Overwatch, they would like have aimbot, maybe, you know, projectile hacks or like silent aim or wall hacks and all that stuff. No, these guys actually, I don't know what they do. They like change the code for the game, make Squirrel Girl literally hit scan. Look. Shoots a nut, the nut disappears, but then it hits instantly. Have you guys ever had a nut disappear? Wild. You start asking yourself questions like, where was it? Where did it go?
Where's my nut?
Look at this shit.
I am too good at this.
He actually has hit scan Squirrel Girl. And on top of that, he turns and looks at the invisible woman. And if that doesn't say hacking to you guys, I don't know. Little bro was just calling people cheaters because he's ass. Brother, I'm ass. I'm about to eat your ass.
Score one for the squirrel.
He's obviously wall hacking, chat. Look at this. Look at this. Hit scan Squirrel Girl. Yeah, and sees him through the wall. Sees him through the wall. Okay. Wait, watch this shot. Watch this shot right here on this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, chat. Look. Ready? She shoots. It hits the wall. It bounces right here. Look. Can someone explain that to me? Replay issue. No. What the actual fuck, chat?
Your fate was already sealed.
Don't mess with Empire State University.
Look at it. You can see it. Hits the wall. It's going over here. That's fucking crazy, bro. I want to see this from his perspective. Hold up. Sorry, chat. Oh, he just gets hit.
That last acorn's a doozy.
Shut up, Doreen.
Double KO.
Hope all is well, my dude. Keep up the great content, Jake.
Are you guys looking at the nut?
Oh.
Can someone explain that to me? Anyone? No, it's not peeing, chat. It's not peeing. Stop it. Stop it. You guys are horrible trolls. Failed trolls. Bait used to be believable. Right now, this is the definition of like quick play lobbies as well. You have 2 tanks, 4 DPS. The Squirrel Girl is 6-0 with 4 final hits with a 68% accuracy. Not quite 6-7, but also not quite 6-9. Dude, that's actually fucking crazy. That is actually fucking what, bro? Can you? He can't get heals because no one on his team is healing.
I'm feeling good.
How do you change the speed of a projectile in the game? Oh, like and it's a definitely silent aim as well.
Double KO.
Yeah. Wait, watch this. Watch this, chat. Watch this. He shoots a shot. Watch this. He shoots a shot right here. Okay, look at that shot. You see that shot? It bounces right there. Look at the atom over here. Shoots the shot right there, the atom. He gets hit. He gets hit by that shot.
Double KO. Oh, that was what perfect humans 3. Yeah, right. Tippy Joe spotted bad guys. Wow, 4 in a row. Got him, Tippy.
Boomerang nut. Guang Guang is cooking a new buff this season, not gonna lie.
I'm trying a cheating edgy is crazy.
Don't mess with Empire State University.
Wait, he actually did die. Wait, how did he die? Oh, he died to the other Squirrel Girl. Okay, that's funny. No headshot yet. He can't be hacking. You can't headshot on Squirrel Girl. Also,
No,
what is
can't.
this guy's name? I just realized. J3 is spectating a cheater, but does this say that J do crack? I don't do crack, chat. I have never done drugs in my life. No, that's I am not getting exposed. Oh, like the cheaters on Bucky now. Ooh,
As long as there's still something
the
worth
number
fighting for,
one
I'll
Bucky
be on the front
spectates a cheating Bucky. I have never done drugs in my life, chat. This picture doesn't prove anything.
At last, our enemies show themselves. Blessed blade.
He's staring at the guy through the wall.
A disappearing.
Nothing personal.
He's literally staring at people through the wall.
The mission area is yours to capture now.
Yeah.
Needed one of these.
I nearly.
Not today.
Let's look at this guy's crosshair real quick, chat. Let's just look at this guy's crosshair real quick. First shot. Does it hit? Yes or no? That's a headshot. Second shot. Is that a hit, chat? Yes or no? That's a hit. Third shot. Right there. Crosshairs right here. Wanda's down here. Does that hit? If you said yes, well, guess what? You might be right. That's fucking crazy, bro. Wait! He's hitting the Invis woman! Okay, wait, I just want to see that last shot on the Hulk. Hold on, I just want to see the last shot on the Hulk, chat. Sorry, this is we're spectating the best Bucky player right now. I want to see how he hits these shots. Man calculated every shot pretty well. Not guilty.
You got some?
Okay.
Okay.
Target neutralized.
Ah, look who's here.
That first shot didn't even hit that Invis woman, by the way. Look at this, look at this, look at this. That first shot that he's staring at, look. He headshot the guy over there. He headshot the Namor.
You get armed and dangerous.
Wow, these his Bucky ults look like mine. He didn't fucking kill anything. And he died again. Oh, that's why he's winning, bro. J-Do Crack. And also 40DoDo69. What? Where do people get these names from? Yo, what's up, 40DoDo69? Okay, let's see what the hella hacker looks like. Oh, this guy's clueless, bro. He's cheating, but he has the awareness of like a walnut. Okay, let's see. This guy's playing all the characters for us so we can witness what a cheater looks like on all the characters. This is like his fourth character.
I will always lend a hand.
He's still on speed for some reason. There we go. Now he switches. Okay, shoots the Invis woman that's like standing still and invisible. Shoots the guy through the wall. Is tracking the guy through the wall right now. Okay.
Keep fighting until we have a winner.
Speed is everything. You're mine.
Double KO.
Bad guys. Fight for the good guys.
Did he just die to a squirrel girl that was standing still, not doing anything? Hold up. I just want to see something.
Tony's down. Oh no,
The cheater died to that. A cheater in a fucking video game died to someone not moving and not moving their crosshair and on controller. Wait, controller might be better than PC, chat. Are we spectating the right cheater? I think so. 21 final hits, 10,000 damage. The next person on his team, chat, only had 1,000 damage. Hold on, let me look at something. Was that the game that he got banned on? He played Spider-Man. Wait, chat, do you guys want to watch another one real quick before we play a game? You know what? I just want to watch this real quick. I only wanted to watch one game. We'll play ranked in a second, chat. I just want to see what this guy looks like.
Crack the whip.
I need assistance.
Now I gotcha.
I'm wounded. Who will help?
That's his crosshair. Who does he grab?
Now I gotcha. Put some pep in my step.
Body block the doorway.
Now I gotcha.
Wait.
I am wounded. Who will help?
Okay, that seems is that reasonable range, chat? Is that reason? I don't play a lot of Spider-Man. Is that reasonable range? I just want to make sure. You know what's really funny? I'm gonna tell you guys a story right here, real quick before we get into this. I did a cheater video of, where was it? This guy right here. I expected a Spider-Man who could web through walls, and apparently they were like, oh my god, it's not a cheat. It's an exploit. It's 100%. You could do this 100% in your games. You can't. Yeah, the Jade hook is real, man. And then I was like, hey guys, actually, it's not an exploit. It's cheating. It's against TOS for the game. If you do that and you get reported, you're probably gonna get banned, and I'm gonna laugh, and you're gonna lose all your stuff. And the people were like, haha, we're not gonna get banned. It's just an exploit. You can't ban for exploiting. And then the next day, I saw the guy who was saying all that get fucking banned, and I laughed so fucking hard. He was like, oh guys, I guess the Jade hook is bannable. And I was like, holy shit, you cannot be that stupid. And then I had so many people come to my chat and be like, oh my god, yeah, this is legal, you can do that, man. I'm like, it has to be like 12-year-old kids who like love Spider-Man or something. Okay.
Crack the whip. Be sure those are bad guys.
Wait, why is this Spider-Man just like, okay.
Yeah. Spider sling.
Take a nap.
Why would you cheat on a melee character though? Like I see him trying to like
put some pep in my step.
He's like trying to aimbot punch people.
Crack the whip.
Okay, that one. I don't think that is normal range, chat. I can tell you that's not normal range. That is not. Nah, chat, listen. I am an expert at how far your web can go. That is, you cannot have your web go that far.
Put some pep in my step.
For
yeah. Now I gotcha.
It's pretty funny watching him try to aim his melee.
There, ahead, I found him.
He's just looking at people. Okay, cheaters are not really that smart, chat. Hopefully he realized he can't pull the thing. You can pull other things, but not that thing.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man. Nice. Yeah. Spider sling.
Wait, I want to see when he goes to other characters, though.
You are nothing. Crack the whip.
The infamous pedestrian, man.
Fantastic!
Why does he keep trying to pull the thing? Whoa! Look, did you see it actually lock on right there? I thought I was crazy at first. Look. Right here, you see it lock on. Right here, chat, right here. Ready? You can see it lock, right here, right on the locks. It locked on the guy flying. Look at it full speed. You see that? And then he misses, like, I can't explain that.
That's for sure.
Spider sling.
Okay.
Spider sling.
What the? The fact that he couldn't even finish that kill is quick. I hope this guy swaps. He's at 94%. Usually you wouldn't switch if you're 94%, but let's see, 96% actually.
Swing of things.
Okay.
Spider sling. Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man. Let's be sure those are bad guys.
I don't really care about his Spider-Man. I want to see him switch characters, chat.
I like the cold.
The cheater goes Luna?
You should be playing shuffleboard, old man. Yes, another hit for Luna. I'm hurt.
Wait, we can actually witness why he cheats. Do you see this guy's aim? He can't even hit a frozen rocket, bro.
It's Spider time!
Wait, dude, this whole, like, interaction right here, look at it. Look at his aim.
I'm hurt.
This is his real aim. In a full 30 clip? In a full 30 clip, you only hit once. Chat, it's not. Oh, I was about to say it's not better than my aim. Stop. Okay. Now Star-Lord, chat. We're gonna take a little peek at Star-Lord.
Oh, did you see that? Oh, did you see that?
Oh my. First of all, his cooldown usage is absolutely abysmal, chat. Second of all, his aim is ass. And his ult usage is ass.
Target neutralized.
Oh, chat, I didn't miss anything. This guy's aim is just ass.
We're headed underground.
Wait, he scoped in! He missed. He missed. He scoped in for a second, then unscoped. That's just crazy. Oh, I wanted to see the stats. No, chat. Who cares if he kind of carried, bro? First of all, he didn't really carry. He went 29-4, 17 battle hits. But the guys who didn't cheat went 33-3 and 28-3. Chat. This guy's cheating. How are you gonna say, oh, but he was cheating, but he kind of carried? No, bro. Okay, friends. YouTube thinks you might like this next video, so let me know if they're right.
Yo!
Group up with Boger and you all are wrong. EM exists. I won 3 games in a row and the game decided I needed to lose the next 5. But you and your followers will say I'm the demon. It's not my fault. Conchu keeps telling me to run it down.
Yo, Jeremy, thank you for the $50 super chat. Appreciate you, our resident Moon Knight main. But you know what? Thank you for the amazing transition into this absolute cope of EOMM. And chat, I gotta tell you, there's a little story that I've got for you. We're gonna do some good for the community today. If you haven't been on Twitter, there was a Rivals tweet that went viral this past week, and I'm gonna show you it. It was a clip. It was actually particularly this clip. So there was this tweet that went viral, and it's a clip, and it's a quote of his original tweet. It said, "I don't care about skill issue this or whatever the fuck. This game actually has the worst matchmaking of all time. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is genuinely the only game I've ever played in my entire life where I feel like it wants you to quit and just play something else. I'm so dead ass when I say it feels like the devs hate you or something. This game is genuinely frustrating to play solo queue, and I have to stack there. Or sorry, I feel like I have to stack there. Isn't a choice in the matter stack or having fun guessing if you're gonna have an okay team or not." They tweeted this clip quoting it and said, "Look what the fuck my healers are doing while in the middle of the fight." And this clip is of them playing Groot. And I want you to watch the full clip. I'll watch it in this. Maybe this will be better. Oh, that is better, actually. You're right. Good call. Good call. So they spam the I need healing. Then it flips to their support, and they're doing this. They're like bouncing shots off the ceiling or whatever the fuck they're doing, right? And it's funny because they then tweet, "Look at what the fuck my healers are doing while in the middle of the fight." I saw this off stream, and I thought it was funny as shit. Because, granted, that is stupid as fuck. I don't know what the hell they're doing. But I watched the beginning. And I want you to watch the beginning one more time and tell me what you see. I'll tell you what I see. I watch him walk in 1v4, holding his wall up and exploding. So I went on the podcast the other day, and I talked about it. We were talking about EOMM, we were talking about this clip. And they found that they saw it and said, "Oh nah, I ain't know I got traction like that. This is not how I want my name to be spread. I was mad frustrated at the point of the clip, so I would normally playing extremely sloppy. I promise I'm not that goofy normally." And here's the clip from the podcast. Of like a cloak and dagger shooting at the ceiling. Meanwhile, the guy who posted it like was on Groot, and he's walking into the point holding walls 1v6 like this. And he's still holding it, just walking in, and he explodes, and then it cuts to the cloak and dagger shooting at the ceiling, trying to bounce shots down, blaming the cloak and dagger. I'm like, okay, yeah, don't get me wrong, that's fucking stupid. Well, what the fuck were you doing? You know, and it's like half the time the demons, they're you! You're the demon! Sorry, of like a cloak. Because it happens, right? Everyone has bad moments, and they said, well, I don't know whether to be proud or embarrassed. So I saw this later, and I was like, okay, you know, I might have cooked them a little too hard. And so I quoted it, and I said, okay, I feel bad. I might have cooked you a little hard. Send me a replay, coded your edgy, and gave it a longer length where you feel like you did well and still lost. I'll spectate. So this has all just been a large transition into I'm going to do my first non-spectating rank 1, not spectating bronze. It's not spectating cheater. And actually help this poor individual, because unfortunately, there is a lot of people who are just like this person, who straight up believe the EOMM is holding them back, and there's nothing they could do. So we're going to watch a game where they think they played pretty well, and we can go through and see all the good and see all the bad, and it will become hopefully painfully f***ing clear. There is way more to it than you are giving credit towards, and you think it's a lot easier than it is. And it's also a team game. They sent me a 2-0 where they played Iron Man. Oh my god, they sent me an Iron Man game. I was hoping they were going to send me a tank game, but let me just look at these really quick. I want to look at some of these. Dude, there's some... Brother, these are some interesting ass things in here. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm going to look at the one he sent me, but I'm going to reserve the right to go looking because it's an open profile. I said a game where you did well and lost. They did send me a game where they feel like they did well and lost. Although you can automatically kind of tell what happened here. This is one of those games where you just straight up have to go again because you have someone who's 5-3 on your team. Although, yeah, they're 5-3, played Widow the entire time. They didn't do anything. You have a game like that. It is what it is. But it, I'm going to look specifically at the game you sent me, even though there's probably better examples, because no matter how good you think you did, there are always ways it could have been better. Oh, they did send me a tank game. Motherfucker, you did not send me a game where you were AFK at the start. Get off your fucking phone. Why are you AFK at the start of the fucking game? We aren't even 3 seconds in! And you're AFK! Brother! Also, second off, what in the actual is this crosshair? What in the actual is this crosshair? It don't need to be this huge. So, first things first, you are playing Thor. You are playing Thor. You are playing Thor. Thor has movement. Thor's movement is his shift. You are already fucking late. Why are you not shifting out of spawn to actually get moving a little bit quicker? You will have your hammers back in time. So you are late and you are not even doing your best to catch up to the fight. You are not even using your abilities correctly to walk out. You are losing valuable time. Get off your fucking phone. You did not just walk into a fucking rocket. You want to tell me about the EOMM demons? Listen, lock the fuck in. I want you to pay attention when you play your games. You should not be walking into the walls. I'm going to be so hard and critical on you specifically because this is for love. I'm going to take this and I'm going to crank it to 11. A lot of times nowadays, I'm actually a lot easier on the spectating bronze people because I know they're bronze. You are not bronze though. You are gold and you think the demons are after you. So I'm going to be extra hard on you. Second off, why is your camera placement under your asshole? Nobody is going to be able to see anything from this POV. Why, like, you don't even move your camera from where it starts. You should be a little bit higher so you can actually see the battlefield. Your character model and cape are taking up half the fucking screen. So that's why you're walking into a rock, because you can't even see the corner of the rock. Second off, I still think you're on your phone because you're only moving and you have not moved your right stick or quote mouse, which you don't have a mouse in this case. Get the right hand off of whatever the it's on and put it on the fucking controller, okay? Because there's other small min-maxes you can do, like jumping up and over. You know what you could also do? You can also shift over the top. So you're so far behind your team, they've already started the fight, but there are cases where you can catch up quickly because you're a tank, you're supposed to be in front of your team. You are so far behind because you started late. You could do little things to catch up faster, but you're not thinking. Your brain is not activated. You are going through the motions, my friend. Lock the fuck in, okay? So now you're just waddling. Now what? So, this is the game you're proud of? Are we dead ass? You just walked into the fight, the start of the game, after being AFK in spawn, and you just straight up, you don't even start reacting for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds before actually walking in and start doing anything? Wake up. You need to be awake. You cannot be this asleep at the fucking wheel playing the game and expect that you are supposed to 1, win, 2, climb, and 3, expect all your teammates to 1, be as good as you are, quote unquote, or better, or pro level players, okay? You just walked past the fucking Venom diving your backline. Thor this season got some pretty good buffs. One of the best things about Thor, pre-buffs, like when Thor was like season 1, you used to be able to fuck up Hulk. And the reason you would fuck up Hulk is you could interrupt his jump, and you did big damage with your awakened form. You can kind of do the same thing to Venom. You're actually really good against Venom, especially if he commits his cooldowns to dive in. Guess what you're doing? Your fucking bum ass is walking right by him. Stood in a penny mine, didn't even react. And oh my goodness, you don't even go. Oh, I'm gonna rage. This is gonna be a big one. This is gonna be a bad one today. I can feel it. So you start charging this thing up and then do nothing with it. Okay, so you proceeded to, by the way, okay, I just want to do a damage check right here. Damage check 0. We are 3 minutes in, probably about a minute and a half into the game. There you go. Your first instance of damage. Lucky it hasn't even registered yet. You're still at 0. Just saying. Now you finally go your awakened form. This would have been great to do if you did on the Venom on your backline. For some reason, though, you're walking into the enemy team doing it. You do not use cover. You do not use this middle thing. You don't even have to fight those guys. Literally, turn around and fight this fucker. Did your team kill him? Where the fuck did he go? There he is. Oh, he ran away at like full HP and then dove back. He's next to you on point. Look, dude, like, you talk about the demons in your games? You talk about the demons? Look at this awareness. Brother, you guys literally just touched cheeks. You guys just backed up on each other and threw it back on each other. That's how close you are. You don't turn around. Wait, why are you AFK for so long? I just realized. Wait, was that the same fight, or did we somehow get further ahead in the VOD and I didn't realize? Because you go awaken form right here, right? And you get a little bit of damage. Also, I don't think you have the mechanics to be shooting for backline, my friend. Did you cancel it early? I don't know if you canceled it early there. And then you just stand here. What? Why are you just standing there? Hello? Brother, you cannot go and explain and talk about the EOM demons. You are the demon right now. Listen, okay, I understand you didn't have your awakened form, but you know what you can do? I'll explain to you, all right? I'm gonna break it down. We're gonna make it real fucking simple. Boom. Okay, you have one hammer because that's the new buff. You throw your hammer, you miss, that's okay. But you could turn and actually hit the guy that's behind you, that you've literally not looked for a single time. That said, if you noticed he was there, you could actually pop your E as well. Instantly get your Thor force back. Hell, you could just start left clicking. Just fucking do something. He's right next to you. Oh my god, it's right fucking next to you! What is right next to you? Can you react? React! Pick up the pace! Thank you. Okay, now you're doing stuff. Good. Listen, oh, he's here? Are you here? Listen, I said at the beginning of this, I'm going to be extra hard on you because you're not a bronze player. Okay? You don't get the bronze player kitty hands that you get these days, right? I'm a little nicer on the bronze players than I used to be because they're new. You are gold. You've been playing this game for a while, and you believe that your teammates are the demons. So I am going extra fucking hard on you, okay? Because you're getting the first ever non-spectating bronze in Rivals or spectating rank 1. So congrats, you gave me the first one, but you're getting the extra hard version. That said, you need to have some awareness. Your awareness falls beyond the choke. It doesn't exist. If the enemy is not standing in the choke across from you, you don't know what to do. Walk in. That guy literally is just standing there. You don't even react a little. You don't even swing your hammer. You've swung your hammer, I think, like one time. There you go. Why do you pop your E? You popped your E at full Thor force. So when you shift, your hammer becomes like awakened or enlightened or whatever, and so you use a Thor force. But the second you hit somebody with the left click, watch, boom, it instantly comes back. So if you shift into somebody and then left click them, you get that Thor force back right away. So you actually don't need to hit your E. You can just immediately go into awakened form right now. But you actually waste your E, which is how you get your awakened form back, and then you pop it. So you could have got 2 rotations in, but instead you only get 1, and you don't really get much damage in. Because for some reason, I don't know why, you're trying to focus their backline, and their backlines are like Rocket Jeff. Dude, just fucking punch the penny in the goddamn mouth. I don't know why you don't shoot the penny. You have the mechanics so far of like a semi sentient, it's somewhat still alive squirrel. Okay, it's not bronze player, but it's close. So just hit the penny in the nose and get your ult charge, get some damage in, because so far you've done multiple rotations and you're not even at 1,000 damage, and you should be pumping. Their venom is way ahead of you. A venom, you're getting cooked. Okay, shift them in, that's fine. You have your awaken again, you could pop it if you wanted. I don't know why you right click there and then before going awaken, you already had it, you didn't need to do that. Okay, so you're gonna walk into the enemy team and probably die here. No, you shifted out, that's good. And you still died, never mind. The prophecy was never wrong. So you understand why you died here? Because there's a penny that's just standing there. And for some reason, everybody in this fucking rank and all across the ranks give this goddamn character a 60% win rate because they don't understand that you have to kill the goddamn penny mine thing first. And if you're like, well, Flats, I couldn't see it. Well, look at the floor and use context clues. You can see that there's a bunch of fucking webs on the left and not that many fucking webs on the right, which means that it's probably over here on the fucking left. And so if you come over at just a slightly different angle, you could pump that thing full of damage and it makes it go boom. And guess what? This character loses half its survivability. And then if there's any mines that are sitting under your feeties, you won't explode. But guess what? This penny is not stupid. And so it puts a couple mines underneath too. Why did it not go into the POV? And so you... Okay, this replay is pissing me off. You also overcommit so hard. There's no reason for you to overcommit this hard, and then you get comboed by getting damage from the venom, and also the penny, and also the storm shooting you. And so you explode. And you explode.
What battle can continue without...
You checking the notifications? So now you were the first person to die, I think, or one of the first people to die on your team. This would be a perfect time for you to start shifting out of spawn, right? Start shifting out of spawn, going quick, trying to get back to your team quickly. So like, well, your team's still alive fighting, you could get back kind of fast. Nope, AFK and walk as slow as possible. Okay, good call. Brother, you literally just used all of your awakening tools before using awakening. You full force, you bubble, right click, and then start awaken form. You are supposed to do the opposite. You awaken form, then use your bubble to get it back, or your right click to get Thor Force back. You are using the opposite. You use all of your cooldowns, then use the cooldown that's supposed to be used first. You used all of your resource gathering tool cooldowns when you're at full resources. It doesn't make sense. It's backwards. And then you're like, oh, Flies, I'm just trying to get some extra damage. Why? This does 25 damage if you leave the bubble. And the hammer does like 40. They don't do shit. They're supposed to get you more Thor Force back. They're not about damage. I'm sorry. Did you not develop object permanence as a baby? Where are you going? Where's bro going? Where is bro go?
Need to be careful, W-dumping resources or they'll start running.
I have a question. Do you think that was a good play? Because you survived? There's a reason why it's gold. The fact that you even lived is mind-boggling to me. Let me explain to you how fucking dumb this was from the jump. So, enemy in backline. Enemy on team. Enemy on team. Still there, by the way. Enemy on team. 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 Congrats, look at that. Your team finally killed the Venom. Your team finally killed the Venom. Good job to them. Because they played together as a team. What did you do? Ran into their team, blew your fucking ult, it somehow lived. This was the most mind-bogglingly dumb thing I think I've seen in a while. I've actually seen bronze players not do stuff like this, unironically. Running, literally shifting into a full penny setup, 1v4, gotta be top 5 craziest plays I've ever seen someone do. And you somehow got one. You should have instantly died right there. But lucky their Jeff is just like you and needs to go try to kill things and doesn't think about the people on his backline. Like if their Jeff decided for 2 seconds, I'll literally show it to you. If their Jeff decided to instead shoot you, you die. Watch. you're less than 100 HP. If their Jeff isn't like just like you dead every time. So congrats, they have their own version of you. And this is why when I say, if you're a good player, your team has 5 chances to have a thrower slash shitter. Like you can roll it for 5 different times to get one because you're good. The enemy team should have 6 chances. So they theoretically should have a higher chance of having a demon than your team. Because if you're a good player, you don't have to worry about your own self being a bad player, which means you have 5 chances to have a bad teammate. They have 6 chances to have a bad teammate. So theoretically, over time, they should have worse players on their team than your team, as long as you're good. Unfortunately, in this case, that's not exactly the case. Well, sorry, let's continue. Dude, this brain off shifting in thing is gonna drive me fucking nuts. What in the...
Nice work, wicked kid.
This is gonna hurt.
Pulse charge, fire! Yeah, Magneto!
You know what it is, fighters? Control C! Lines in place. This should keep us safe.
Oh, I see why you guys lost. How the f are you supposed to beat that?
Maximum pulse.
Another, again, you absolutely waste your E at full Thor force. Proceed to do minimal with it. You know what would be nice to have right there? Your E. Would have got Thor force back immediately and could have went a weekend again. You're gonna shift into them again. I just want to do a stats check, by the way. 3,700 damage, 1 and 1. I don't know how you end up with as many kills as you did. Probably just start spamming on Iron Man, I'm guessing. But my goodness, this is... You don't shoot the nest ever either. Like this, I know we already went over this, so I kind of already knew what to expect. But like, brother, like these nests have been sitting here. Wait, you missed? Did you miss? Did you miss the right click? By the way, I don't think you get Thor force off of objects. You have to hit a person. I'm pretty sure. So it doesn't make sense to throw that. Wow. So now you go Iron Man. Iron Man should be the biggest free eats of the metal ranks of all time. 1, they can't look up. 2, a lot of people, especially on console, can't look up or shoot. And 3, you do splash damage and have an ult that insta-kills people through a support ult. So I'm assuming that the way this is gonna go from now on is you just start spamming their front line and hoping somebody dies. You don't even know how to spam correctly. Brother, you don't even know how to spam correctly on an AoE character. You are trying to hit the targets in the fucking forehead on a character that has splash damage. You should be aiming at the feet underneath them, so every single shot's a hit. You are trying to hit them dead on and missing many times over. You hit 1 out of, what? 1 out of every 3 shots, maybe? Oh, the tracking. Oh, brother, the tracking. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. What are we looking at? What are we shooting at? Your Jeff is the go. Okay, that Luna was f***ing troll out of your team, but... Alright. So here's the difference between a good player and a person who wants to check their phone every 4 seconds because they can't stay focused in the middle of a game. You could go up right now after this fight ends and go poke and get your ultimate because you're at 40 or 86%. Instead, you're going to sit here and wait and do nothing. No going up and spamming, no looking for ult charge, no getting early good positioning, no forcing ults early, just staying here AFK on your f***ing phone!
Keep going.
Let me paint you a fucking picture. Let me paint you a picture on how you save your team, because you're gonna lose this fight after this. I have a feeling. Or you don't lose a fight, it's gonna drag on for a while and then you get fucked. You poke early, you get Iron Man ult. You have ults. You should have it right now. They're Jeff ults. You turn your fucking screen and look at your teammates. The second you see the shark appear on the ground, you ult his ass and he goes boom. Right here. Maximum pulse. Grabbed. Dead. Instantly. Right there. GG. You save your team and you kill the little shark. Instead, let's see what you do. You don't even turn to help. You don't even attempt to help. Oh wow, their Jeff actually ran into your. This is unbelievable. He ran into you. The Jeff ran back. Like, you know how I said earlier, he's you on the enemy team? That's your EOM demon for the enemy team. That's who you're paired up with, by the way. That's the matchmaker's version for you for them. They ulted their team, and he ran into their penny alone. Stopped moving, brother. You know what? I'm just gonna let that guy go. It's not his. This isn't a spectator that Jeff, but like. He doesn't know where the off the map is. He thought the off the map was that little spot, by the way. Are you lagging? So why do you stop moving when you do that? You know you can move, right? Like this is like what legitimate bots do. This is like actual bot gameplay, like actual bot burger. You're like, brother, you are in the middle of the fucking point, sitting still in the sky. You can't do that. There's no cover. There's no game. There's no plan. You know what the best part of this is? If you had better positioning from the start and didn't just sit here in this corner or in the middle of the open, you actually could have, if you were around the pillars, you actually wouldn't have had to run like a little bitch from the other Iron Man. If you had good tracking, good positioning, and actual usage of cover, you could actually have jiggle peeked him and probably won. But instead, you end up on the fucking run because you're gonna die because you put no pressure. See the difference? He got first shot on you. And he goes to chase you down. See the difference? He gets first shot. But you can flip that. You can flip that back on him if you wanted to. Wait a minute. Hang on. So you're getting pursued. You run out of jets. You pop your E to fight back, and you don't even shoot one single time for splash damage as he's turning the corner if he's chasing you. You don't even attempt. You wait to see him. Lucky he didn't chase, but. If you do this, right, and you go to this is like a good plan to try to flip the script on him, right here, fire a shot, see if he's still there.
That's not fair. I'll take a little nap and then come back. I will be back.